making it great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chase to the Checkered. I'm Mike Nelson along with Dave Kohler, and on today's show, you'll see the Saturday, August 10th CarQuest presentation of our NASCAR Winston Racing Series. It's a big weekend at Jennerstown with the AC Delco Challenge Series ASA late models in a live nationwide broadcast of their Sunday, August 11th 300-lap affair. And David, we know of at least one driver in the ASA ranks who's going to be doing double duty this weekend.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. Tony Raines, who lives now in Bigler, Pennsylvania, originally from the state of Indiana. One of the top-running ASA competitors, always a top 5 finisher. I'm sure he's going to win one in the ASA soon. He's also one of our top late model runners. Earlier in the year, he had a number of top 5 finishes. He's going to come out and compete with us in the late model division. He's an exciting runner. He may have to start in the back, but I guarantee you he's going to make the charge to the front in the late model division.
Can Raines play the spoiler in the Giant Auto Parts Pure Later Late Model Division? Stay with us. We'll find out about that and have highlights from our Valvoline Pro Stocks, Street Stocks, and Pure Stocks right after this.
And every week, we get together at this house and sit around this table because
we're the guys!
We order Supreme pizzas delivered from Pizza Hut because
we're the guys!
Yes! But tonight, we're really hungry, so we're getting Super Supreme Pizza.
Call Pizza Hut Delivery for a Supreme Pizza for $8.99 or a second for $4 more. Or make them Super Supremes with 3 more toppings for an extra $1.
Bye, guys.
She is not a guy.
Pizza Hut Delivery, making it great.
When you buy Valvoline motor oil, you get quality, high performance, protection, and now, for a limited time only, great taste. It's Valvoline's 125th birthday, and right now when you buy 12 quarts of Valvoline and buy 12 cans of any Coca-Cola product, we'll pay for the Coca-Cola product. People who know use Valvoline. With other motor oils, you just won't get the great taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
There's lots of great reasons to get your auto parts at Giant Auto Parts. Huge selection, friendly, knowledgeable service,
Hi, may I help you?
and everyday low prices. But here's the best part. Giant has the best parts. Giant carries a full line of quality Purolator oil and air filters for almost any car, foreign or domestic, at great everyday low prices. So get to the best part at Giant Auto Parts. There's a Giant Auto Parts near you. Welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. 25 Giant Auto Parts Pure Later late models on the racing surface to do battle in this CarQuest 35-lap feature event. And Dave, before we get started with anything, there's the top 3 rows. Want to let our folks know that some of those trailers normally where our late models are parked are the ASA trailers, as we alluded to them being here with us this weekend.
Dave Charleston on the point. Tom Erickson starting second. 2 vastly improved drivers, Snooky Williams and Randy Burke, starting in the first 3 rows. They're coming out of turn 4 for Ron Brutt's green flag.
The field tightens up. They get on the throttle. The green comes out and we're racing. And the interesting situation that happens right here at the beginning of the event is that ultralight brakes 15 of Tom Erickson out on the point position, drag racing down the back straightaway, stretching it out already by 3 car lengths over Dave Chelsted.
Erickson, a recent winner at the Motordrome Speedway. That car has a great deal of horsepower underneath the engine compartment. He gets out front. Look out, he's going.
A Pauley Engineering V8 under the hood of Erickson's automobile. I believe that's the first full effort out of the Gail Pauley shops in Erie, Pennsylvania. We continue the early laps side by side. A great battle going on in the middle of the pack.
Another competitor that's been vastly improved over the last several weeks, Bobby Henry in the Hodge Transmission Nicholson Lumber number 77 car. He's really come on lately and had some fine performances.
Early in this event, we had a miscue in turns 1 and 2. Here it is, the Eaton Park 50, Kurt Havido on board. That V6-powered Imperial chassis machine hitting the outside retaining wall very hard, but Kurt was able to get out of the car under his own power before he went back to green flag racing. It is up to the 15 of Tom Erickson to jump on the throttle. He does that out of turn 4. The green unfolds, and we're back to speed in this CarQuest 35-lap feature event. 3 wide there in an effort to get around Barry Audie's machine.
Looked like Audie's car had a little bit of trouble coming up the speed out of turn 4 and allowed Tim Ice and Bob Cibula to go around him.
Well, that action has taken place in the middle of the field. The 19 of Rick Miller has meanwhile moved into second place. There it is, that red car, the Kossel Auto Sales machine. And here comes Bob Sibla in the maroon 86 Autosite car. He struggles around the outside of the certified lift, number 6 of Snooky Williams. Look at Ice thread the needle between two automobiles, squirreling with the car, and he still makes it through and dives to the low side of the 34 Randy Burke.
Ice started 7th in this race event, and he and Glenn Gauld hooked up in two of the most toured events I've seen all year. Last week, he ended up 2nd in one and crashing in the second race. Has one win already in 1991 at Motordrome, has yet to win here at Jennerstown Speedway.
There's Bob Sibla continuing his outside route around this racing surface in a desperate effort to capture a top 5 position as we move on in this event to a lap 5 battle for 3rd place position, and it's Dave Chelsted holding on to it in the J&N Video Connection 58, but Tim Ice starting 7th, as you said earlier, David. He's wasting no time in trying to go to the point position. Look at him hug the low side of that 58 machine down the back straight.
Dave Chelsted having a real good run. He's had all kind of problems during the 1991 campaign, and Ice makes the bid on the low side coming out of turn 4.
Down the front straightaway into turn 1, and then all of a sudden a crash in turn 4 involving two automobiles. The 12 of visiting ASA driver Tony Raines, who has done some racing with us in the Giant Auto Parts Pure Later late model division earlier in the season, and the 23 of Danny White, who suffered front end damage.
Raines came out of turn 4, the back end broke loose, got sideways. Danny White, with nowhere to go, drilled him in the side. Now we pick up the restart going into turn 2 down the back straightaway with Tom Erickson leading.
And Tim Ice has picked up his position on the back bumper of the 19 of Rick Miller. Ice running in 3rd place position, dives to the low side of the Connellsville, Pennsylvania Pilot, and he takes over the bridesmaid spot as the rest of the field continues to string out on the racing surface.
Ice driving like a man possessed at the moment, currently running 2nd behind Erickson. Rick Miller 3rd, Bob Sibla 4th, and 12th place running Glenn Gauld trying the high side of Dave Chelsted. Believe me, Tim Ice can taste that victory.
I believe Glenn Gauld has won 5 consecutive events in a row at Jennerstown, and he's desperately trying to move up through this field. But look at Tim Ice begin the haunt to back bumper of the ultralight brakes action chassis number 15 machine.
Ice, a strong runner anywhere he goes, in the top 5 in the Winston Racing Series, top 10 in the Jennerstown Speedway points, battling it out going into turn 1. Let's go to the live call.
Look at this, diving to the low side Ice. The cars make contact, and they take off the first coat of wax as they go down the back straightaway. Glenn Gauld moving on the low side of the 86 of Bob Sibla. It's a struggle for the 4th place position. Gauld has been hooked up all over this racing surface. Sibla in the last few weeks has not had good finishes in the Autosite 86 at Jennerstown, and he's looking good tonight, but he has the pressure Gauld behind him. But meanwhile, we turn our attention to the lead battle out of turn 2. It's a good one down the back straightaway. The Iceman trying to skate around the 15 of Erickson, trying to make that move. Here comes Rick Miller. Miller in the Kossel Auto Sales, Henschel & Sons 19 machine moves close to the back bumper of Ice, and that battle continues for the 4th place position. Glenn Gauld, oh, there's contact in 1 and 2, and Ice makes it through. The 19 of Miller goes through in a window. If there was ever an event at Jennerstown in 1991 that Tim Ice has showed he's absolutely determined to visit victory lane, it has been this one so far, as he's just come up through that field wrestling to grab that point position, and Rick Miller's been able to slip by the 15 of Erickson to get by for 2nd. Here's a great battle going on for the 4th place position. Glenn Gauld, the leader in the NASCAR Winston Racing Series Northeast Regional Points, is to the low side of Bob Sibla's machine, and he grabs 4th in the Orange Blossom Special 32. Then on lap 16, David, we had a spin involving the Sheets 34 Randy Burke to bring out a yellow flag.
The number of cars getting involved, and Randy Burke going sideways. No contact made with the wall. Randy's going to be able to rejoin this event. Now we pick up the restart on lap 16. Tim Ice leading, coming down for the green flag. Rick Miller trying to make a bid. It's going to fall short.
Into turns 1 and 2, and you have to be concentrating on Glenn Gauld. He's wasting no time diving to the low side of the 15 of Tom Erickson. Gauld is trying to find his way into victory lane for his 6th consecutive time in a row at Jennerstown. He moves by the 15 of Erickson, finds himself now running in an incredible 3rd place position. Bob Sibla is still hanging on to 5th as we have another incident on lap 20. It's the 24 Chuck Kennedy who hit the wall and brought out another yellow.
Chuck Kennedy physically okay after hitting the wall. The same can't be said for the car. Now on lap 22 for 2nd place, Glenn Gauld, Rick Miller battling it out. And we haven't made much mention of Rick Miller. He's vastly improved over the last few weeks. A real strong run here. He has a new engine in the car, the Drame engine back in it, and he's holding off Glenn Gauld coming down the back straightaway.
The Precision Chassis Center Port City chassis machine with the Buick body on it on the outside of this racing surface. Another Buick-bodied machine, that of Glenn Galt's, to the low side, and he struggles through in an effort to pick up second place, which he accomplishes as they go down the back straight. David, things will get interesting now because we move on, and this is 2 1/2 laps remaining in this event. Glenn Galt has been able to close up to Tim Ice's back bumper, and it's an ironic situation after last week. These two battled it out. It's worth going to the live call. They had the fans excited.
They dive through. Ice gets the car swirling. Here comes Galt down the back straightaway. He makes a challenge to the low side on Ice. They go into 3 and 4. Go right there. Ice slams the door on him. Out of turn 4. The white flag's out. 1 lap remaining. They go into 1 and 2. Ice holds the middle through. Galt tries the high side. Now he ducks down low. It'll be a drag race down the back straightaway. Ice doesn't give it to him. They continue. Less than a half lap remaining. Working through 3 and 4. Galt running out of time. Ice slides up high. Here comes Galt. It's a drag race to the checker. Who's it going to be? Ice wins it.
An elated Tim Ice in victory lane. Glenn Galt, Rick Miller, Tom Erickson, Bob Sibler round out the top 5. We're going to take a few moments and we're going to go to the driver profile.
This driver profile is brought to you by Giant Auto Parts, your place for the best parts. And by Purolator, the first name in oil filters.
Longtime competitor Snooky Williams is a subject of this week's driver profile. In the eyes of Snooky Williams, just racing, trying to win, and having fun are the main ingredient when he climbs behind the wheel of his high-powered Camaro number 6 late model. And true to those words, Snooky Williams has done all of those things and more in his 30-plus years of racing. Having started in the cadet or street stock class in 1968 at the old Smucker Speedway, Snooky racked up the points title in his rookie year. Piloting a late model the following year, the Latrobe resident found his initial venture into that class mediocre at best. After dropping back a class to the semi-lates in 1970, Snooky started having fun and winning in 1971, collecting 17 wins out of 23 starts in the semi-lates at 3 different racetracks. Jumping into the late models permanently in the mid-70s found the jovial Williams win a number of late model races on dirt before making the switch to the asphalt in 1988. Although the switch to the blacktop was a bit slow, the Snooky Williams Bill Patty race team has found the handle in 1991 with several top 5 finishes, voted the B.J. Maurer Hard Charger in the month of July, and the team's best finish, a 3rd place at Jennerstown Speedway.
This driver profile has been brought to you by Giant Auto Parts, your place for the best parts. And by Purolator, the first name in oil filters.
There's lots of great reasons to get your auto parts at Giant Auto Parts. Huge selection, friendly, knowledgeable service,
Hi, may I help you?
and everyday low prices. But here's the best part. Giant has the best parts. Giant carries a full line of quality Purolator oil and air filters for almost any car, foreign or domestic, at great everyday low prices. So get to the best part at Giant Auto Parts. There's a Giant Auto Parts near you.
Come on out to the track. Motordrome is back. Racing every Friday night at Motordrome Speedway, just off exit 23 of Interstate 70 Smithton. Racing begins at 8 p.m., but come early and watch the hot laps. Catch NASCAR Winston Racing Series excitement right in your own backyard with drivers threading the needle at breathtaking speeds. It's a great way to spend a Friday night with entertainment for the entire family. Friday night racing at Motordrome Speedway, just off exit 23, Interstate 70 Smithton, where legends are born.
We're back with the Valvoline Pro Stocks and their CarQuest 25-lap feature event. On the point position is Don Wine. Outside of him, Robert Sedlacko. Inside second row, Charlie Myers in a 09. Don't want to confuse folks of thinking that the 09 and 94 team cars, they're just coincidental that the paint jobs look just like that. We're going to go into the live call right at the start.
Down into turns 1 and 2. Wine on the low side. Up high is Sedlacko. We're still side by side in the top 3 rows. Oh, watch this. The traffic's getting busy down the back straightaway. Settling into the point position is Wyatt, but we have a charge of automobiles battling for 3rd through 10th. Oh, 3 wide out of 4. Can they do it? Oh, no! Hang on to it. Woo! Hang on to it. Oh, we're still not. How about that one, race fans?
That start resembling the bumper cars at the local amusement park. The cars stringing out, starting to fall in line, going into turns 3 and 4. And we see Bob Sedlacko running in second behind Don Wyatt in the 94.
Bradley Cole trying to move up through the field. We move on to lap 4. This is a battle for second place position. Sedlako's hanging on to it, and look at the automobiles closing in on him, including one Vince Rendisi in a 57, and to his high side, the 49 of Denny Wingert. And watch what happens in turns 1 and 2.
Everything breaks loose. Bob Sedlako goes sideways and gets hit in the rear end by Kelly Shawless in the 77 and Ron Delano in the 62. Two of the hard luck drivers. There's Delano's car against the outside wall. Now we pick it up on lap 8. Don Wyant leading the cars down the back straightaway. Brad Cole battling it out with Randisi for second place.
That's a torrid battle they have. Watch this out of turn 4. Oh my goodness, trading some paint out there. Very close to the outside retaining wall is Vince Rendisi. He's working the hard way around this racetrack, but many competitors have proved in the past, David, if you can work the outside of Jennerstown, you can pass cars, and that's exactly what Rendisi's trying to do.
And we've talked about it numerous times. Randisi loves the outside. He loves to smack that outside wall with his tire and put the white paint on the wheels, the old Jennerstown stripe on the back end of the race car.
Rendisi high, wide, and handsome, actually starting a third groove out there. Bradley Cole in a tough situation. He's boxed in right now. Don Wine in front of him, and the Davidsville Sunoco 94 car will not open up an opportunity for Bradley Cole. Now he moves ahead of Rendisi, but if Vince can hook that outside around the 94 machine, it will box into 68 of Cole. And here he's able to do it out of turn 2 down the back straightaway, and Vince Rendisi flies into the point position.
Brad Cole in the 68 car was involved in that multi-car crash last week. Repaired the car. He's back out here running strong in the 3rd place. Denny Wingert in 4th place. And here comes Bob Arsenberger in the number 26.
Arsenberger to the low side, and they battle in a top 5 position. He is working that low line with the 26 machine, the white Ford-bodied automobile. And we're going to move on in this event to the battle for 4th place position with only 2 laps remaining. There's the 19 of Bob Sprout-Kossel. He's directly behind the 49 machine of Denny Wingert and the 26 of Bob Arsenberger.
16 points separate 1st and 3rd place in this division. Bill Kraus and Vince Randisi in 1st and 3rd. Bob Kossel sandwiched in between them, and right now he's sandwiched in between Denny Wingert and Bob Arsenberger.
Wingert up high in that Ford product, the Martis Ford machine. He goes into turns 1 and 2 on this final lap. And here's a look at Vince Rendisi. The Greystone Lumber Rockin' R 57 will wheel around turns 3 and 4. And it's been a little while since he's been in victory lane, but Rendisi will pick up the checker in this CarQuest 25-lap feature event for the Valvoline Pro Stocks.
A happy Vince Randisi in victory lane with Sandra Haynes from Valvoline Motor Oil, and a tremendous top 5 performance for Don Wine, the former late model competitor, finishing 2nd. Brad Cole 3rd, Denny Wingert 4th, Bob Kossel 5th, and we're going to take a moment and go to the race break.
This race break is brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
Transition is the name of the game with 4 divisions at Jennerstown. It gives a driver the opportunity to begin with an entry-level division at a modest investment and work their way up to a thoroughbred racing machine. Here's how it works. For $1,500 to $4,000, you can begin racing a pure stock machine. It's a showroom-style stock car with street-legal tires that allows you the time to learn how to control a car on asphalt. Time to move on? Simple. Just take your pure stock, modify the engine and suspension according to the rules, take off the street tires, and put on racing slicks, and you're ready for street stock division racing with a cost anywhere from $6,000 to $15,000. Want to move up again? All right, keep the engine from your street stock, then buy an older late model chassis and drop your street stock engine into the car and your Valvoline Pro Stock racing with an investment from $15,000 to $30,000 in your racer. Ready for the ultimate weekly division at Jennerstown? Okay, take the street stock engine out of your Pro Stock machine and replace it with a high-performance racing V8 and the necessary drivetrain components, and you're behind the wheel of a Giant Auto Parts Pure Leader late model at a cost from $25,000 to $45,000. Of course, if you had enough money, you could buy a car for each division brand new, but the idea of having 4 divisions is giving a team the opportunity to retain some parts of their racer while selling other parts as they climb up the divisional ladder.
This race break has been brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
The street stocks in their CarQuest 20-lap feature event saw Richie Layton on the point position. Outside of him, Gary Wiltrout in the front row to bring this field around for the green.
It's going to be interesting to watch Jeff Dunbar transverse his way up to the front. Here they come out of turn 4, and Richie Layton brings them down for the green flag.
Street stocks coming up to speed in turns 1 and 2, and Gary Wiltrout in the Lucas Machine Caddyshack 10 looks to the outside of Richie Layton, but Layton comes right back up on him, and they're fender to fender, wheel to wheel down the back straight in the battle for the lead. Everybody else stacked up too wide behind him.
And there's a number of rookie drivers in this class. Mark Berkey in the 73 car, he's directly in front of Jeff Dunbar, and caddy corner to Dunbar would be the 66 of Jason Mignon. Looks like he spells his name Mignogna, but they pronounce it Mignon.
Down the back straightaway, Jason Mignon, only 18 years of age, and the former Mark Roberts street stock ride continues running in a top 5 position. But here's the man on the move. In the Mark's Auto Body Diet Pepsi 07 Pepsi machine, it is Jeff Dunbar, the 28-year-old welder from Somerset, Pennsylvania. And look at the 73 of Mark Berkey hang in there as Jock dives to the low side, gets ahead of Dunbar into second place position.
The two drivers that week in and week out battle it out in the street stock division, Rick Jock, Jeff Dunbar, they're making their way around Richie Layton, another rookie competitor. One other driver that's really been able to keep up with these two cars, Jeff Stewart. We'll see him shortly in the Power 92 car.
Into turns 1 and 2, Jock has this point position, but he has a mirror full of that powder blue and white 07 of Dunbar. Dunbar looks like he sets up for the outside, but he'll be challenging all over the back bumper of this North Star Equipment 74 machine.
Now, Jeff Dunbar is looking to break perhaps some type of a record here, a modern-day full-bodied race car record that was held by Bobby Henry, late model competitor, when he ran dirt in the semi-late division. He had 27 wins. Dunbar right now is tied with Henry for 27. Can he make it 28? He's trying the low side of Rick Jock going into turn 3.
As you mentioned, Dave, Dunbar is trying to make history in modern racing in Western Pennsylvania. You'd have to go way back to someone like Dick Linder, who ran back in the coupe days and had somewhere close to 50 wins. But back then they were running 4 or 5 times a week. In modern day history, usually 2, 3 times at the most a week you're racing. As we continue this battle, now we move ahead in this event. There are 4 laps to go and things get tight as Dunbar continues holding on to the point position, but his car begins to slow for some reason or another. There it is out of turn 2, and Jock begins to pressure him.
Rick Jock came up to the back end of Dunbar. It looked like Dunbar's car almost came to a complete stop, and he's really trying to work all over Jeff Dunbar coming out of turn 4.
If you're a new viewer of the Chase to the Checker, we got to tell you, these two drivers have been like this all season long in Western Pennsylvania, both here at Jennerstown and our sister track that runs on Friday night, Motordrome Speedway. A classic duel of 2 of the top street stock drivers, perhaps in the country, as they continue wagering their battle in 3 and 4.
And the guy I mentioned earlier, Jeff Stewart, he's trying to track these two down. Rick Jock trying to break Jeff Dunbar's concentration, trying him high. Now he tries him low going into turn 1. He'll swing high again, but he loses a little bit of traction. He's going to try him high going down the back straightaway.
Intimidation is what Jock's trying to do, but Dunbar is a driver that's not easily intimidated. This is worth going to the live call.
This time around, race fans, the white flag's out. 1 lap remaining. Jock will have to pull something out of his bag of tricks here in an effort to pass Dunbar. Dunbar dirt tracks. There may be contact. Down the back straightaway. Oh, Jock right there. Look at this, race fans. It's nose to tail. Jock trying to work the low line. Dunbar closes the door on him. Dunbar dirt tracks the automobile. Here comes Jock. Dunbar definitely slowing down. Jock looking for racing room, but Dunbar takes it.
Mr. Street Stock in Victory Lane, Jeff Dunbar out of Somerset makes it win number 28. That's an incredible feat. In the top 5, Rick Jock, Jeff Stewart, Jason Mignon, the rookie, Bill Krause in the 18. Great performance for him. And we're going to come right back with more racing action.
When you buy Valvoline motor oil, you get quality, high performance, protection, and now, for a limited time only, great taste. It's Valvoline's 125th birthday. And right now, when you buy 12 quarts of Valvoline and buy 12 cans of any Coca-Cola product, we'll pay for the Coca-Cola product. People who know use Valvoline. With other motor oils, you just won't get the great taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
North Star Auto Parts specializes in late model salvage for Our selection of economical and dependable used parts is monitored by computer to give you fast and accurate price quotes. Our national parts search program puts the inventory of the entire country at We'll find it. We offer a 100-day warranty on all late model drivetrain components and free delivery to businesses in a 10-county area. For quality used parts with state-of-the-art service, it's North Star Auto Parts.
We always come to this pizza, always sit at this table. Why? Because we're not. Super Supreme guy.
Now a Supreme steak at them Super Supremes with 3 more toppings.
Must be a guy thing.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
Which saw Beam claim the lead 1 lap later. Nearing the race's midpoint, third-place contender Rick Sheeler found a mirror full of machinery pressuring him, which eventually led to a seesawing Dave Brunell to lose the handle on his automobile and then experience the hard impact of a Jack Satosky-driven machine to bring out the yellow on lap 8. When back to green, Brian Audi passes Sheeler for 4th as Alan Angelico Jr. joins the lead pack to make it a 3-car battle for the top position. In the latter stages of the event, Angelico slips by Heminger for 2nd, but finds the 55 faltering and facing the task of holding off Heminger and Audi for 2nd on the last lap. As Beam goes on to victory, the battle for 2nd sees Angelico take it over from Heminger and Audi, with Rick Sheeler rounding out the top 5. Let's go to this week's edition of the Mailbox.
Chase to the Checkered Mailbox is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Making it great.
Our question this week in the mailbox comes from Georgie Lensbauer of Friedens, PA, who is age 11. Georgie writes, all late model drivers have a leather strap on their left shoulder. To help answer that question, we're going to go to late model competitor Bobby Henry.
Thanks for writing in, Georgie. There's a couple of real good reasons why the guys wear the straps on the shoulder. The biggest reason is when which is not real good, so the strap, you pull the strap a little tighter and keeps your head so you can keep your eyes on the arc of the turn to follow the rest of the way out of the turn. The second reason is if you have any incidents or anything that you come to a sudden halt, it'll keep your head in place so your neck doesn't do any sudden jarring around in the car.
If you'd like to have your letter read on Chase to the Checkered, please mail your question to this address. Don't forget to include your name and address on your letter. Complimentary Jennerstown Speedway hat and sweatshirt.
Chase